Hello, everyone. So, I am very interested in space. It's something that I have always enjoyed. I've always enjoyed like looking up at the stars, finding constellations, like the Big Dipper and things like that. And recently, I've just been reading more about it and staying up to date on the latest like science news regarding space and things like that. And it's just a fascinating field of study. It's just always fascinating because there's always something new to discover. There's always these big breakthroughs or new things that they're discovering in space that maybe helps with things here on Earth, or maybe new technologies, all sorts of neat stuff that is, just always being discovered. So it's like there's literally um, something new every day, pretty much, in the study of space. And it's really, really, just really fascinating to me. And I've actually been reading this book, and this book actually is from 1951. So this book is 70 years old. I actually got it was my great grandmother's book. But I've been reading through it, and it's been interesting because it's still up to date. The information is still useful because, just the basic information about stars and planets and how light works and things like that. But you can see a few times the sort of it's dated, how it's dated because some of the like that when this was before that they did the moon landing, so a lot of the things that they know about the stars in this book was from just through telescopes and stuff. So it's been a really interesting book, but it's made me think even more about space. And I wanted to just share with you 3 things why I enjoy space and learning about it, and why I think you should enjoy it too. So the first thing is I enjoy it because it's just so fascinating, and I kind of shared this at the beginning of the video, but there's always something new to discover. It's the universe is huge, and there's always new technologies and new things coming out. And even if you take in things like physics and quantum physics in the study of space, it just there's just so many fascinating things that are coming out from these fields of studies. Not just the knowledge, but also technology and things that we're able to do. I mean, right now they're talking about they're sending things to Mars now, and they're you know planning on sending civilians out in space, and doing all of these travels. And it's just really fascinating, and there's so much information there that it's just literally like pretty much every day you can learn something new, or there's some like new discovery. The second thing is that it kind of allows you to step away from Earth in a sense. And what I mean by that is, here on Earth, in your own life, you have a lot of different like struggles or, just life stuff. And when you study space, and you're looking up at the sky, and you're, looking at the stars or the moon, and it makes you realize how small we are on this little tiny speck. We're on this little speck in this huge area of billions of other specks, and it allows you, because of that, you're looking at it's kind of like you're stepping outside of Earth and viewing your problems, viewing your life, viewing all these things in from a different perspective. And it lets you see that maybe these things you've been struggling with are not as bad or as big as you thought they would be. And it just, I don't know, it just gives a healthy perspective because it lets you step outside of our own little limited perspective here on Earth, and kind of view things in a more healthier way. And the third thing, and this kind of goes with the second part, the second point, but the third thing is that it forces you to really ask the bigger questions of life. Like, why are we here? What's our purpose? Where did all this come from? Is there a God? All that kind of stuff. Because again, you realize how small you are. I remember the first time I looked at, the moon through a pair of binoculars, and I just had this realization that it's this giant, massive thing right there, huge. And it just made me realize how small I am, and you know, we look at ants and we're like, look how small the ant is, but it's like, hello, like, look how small we are compared to the whole universe. And you know, it just forces you to, you know, ask those questions, you know, those big questions that I think a lot of times we tend to avoid or we don't ask, or you know, we might kind of play around with them a little bit, but we don't really dive into them. And I think it's good for us to ask those. I think we should ask those a lot more often and, you know, face them and kind of confront them more. Um, but yeah, those are the three reasons why I enjoy studying space. And I think that if you guys are not studying it, and you don't have to study it like, you know, like take classes or anything like that. It could just be a hobby. It could just be reading a little book like this one. Um, and like I said, even though this is an older book, it is very interesting just to see because again, this was before the moon landing, so it was amazing what they knew at that time before they started doing like space exploration like they do now. Um, but it's just very interesting. Very interesting book. But yeah, I hope you guys, you know, will go out and, you know, start learning more about space. It's really fascinating, it's fun, and, you know, like I said, there's always something new to learn. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Hope you all have a great day. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!